Nintendo's roller and Ultimate, so people mash and wear out controllers to sell more controllers. Big brain. Yeah, that's like the Mario Party.
Mario Party brain?
Yeah, and at the 64, like a lot of the Mario Party minigames at the 64 was that you had to spin the stick like really fast.
So it broke?
Yeah. That was like the classic back in the day, back in like the 90s. So yeah, a lot of people destroyed their controllers, and a lot of people, actually Android as well, when they rotated the control stick, they were not using their thumb. They were using like, you know,
the palm?
Yeah. So they started like bleeding and shit. So I think they actually like gave you some like type of thing to like use for your hand, because so many people started like bleeding and shit. Android actually got banned for a while from playing like Mario Party and shit. Like that was like some real shit. Getting banned from playing.
Banned from playing.
It was Mario Party that brought out the ban, the one and only gamer ban in our house. Mario Party. Yeah, the 64 controllers are pretty trash. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like Nintendo 64. Like, looking back at 64 and all the games, I feel like I underrated it as a kid. But the controllers, nah, fuck that. They're bad. No. Fuck. Ooh. Ooh. Damn, that's crazy. Oh,
that was nice.
Thanks. But if I have people over that like really like switching often, then we can just put it to like Thursday 3 or something. Like, if you are someone that like really tries to get to the top, and your favorite character is Piranha Plant, then yeah, then sure, it's not gonna be a good idea to play that character, you know. But if you don't really try to get to the top, and you really enjoy Piranha Plant, like, why not play him, you know? Yeah, tier lists always matter. As long as it's any difference in characters, tiers will always exist. Yeah, I would say the same for Melee. Like, I don't know, like for me, if I play a game like casually, I don't really compete, I don't really care about results. I'm not really like, oh, I have to pick the best character for the sake of picking the best character. Then I'll just play whatever I enjoy. Sometimes, often I would say that top tiers are fun, because a big reason that they are good is that they have like more options and stuff. But that doesn't necessarily mean that all top tiers is fun or are fun, or all bad characters are boring, you know? Least favorite top tier to watch? Probably like Olimar or Snake. I don't hate them as much as the average person though. Against Olimar, the main priority is to not get up smashed. That's the main priority. If you avoid his up smash out of shield, that's like a huge benefit already there. The second thing I would say is like not to get grabbed by the blue Pikmins. A lot of Olimars, even like the really good Olimars, they fucking spam grab as soon as they have a blue in front. Like, I feel like a lot of them don't even try to mix it up. They're like, I will go for this grab and I hope it pays off. I know I got to play against Rich Brown. He had a really good Olimar in Brawl. He didn't compete super much in Smash 4, but he was still like a pretty good Mewtwo in Smash 4. I got to play against him a bit when I was in SoCal prior to Summit, and we had some pretty close games overall. And he said that he was surprised like how a lot of the really good Olimars in Brawl kind of like didn't even try to hide the fact that they were trying to grab when they had the blue. And he was surprised because he was like, he was trying to play it more, how do you say, mixing it up more, but he was like, oh, they make it work so much that I'm probably just gonna start doing more grabs with blue as well. And then when I played against like the boss and stuff, it was like, yeah, like they really seem to fish for it. Yeah, with Chrom, it's not really worth it to go off stage against like practically any character. It's just better to like try to ledge trap. It's one of the reasons why I would never be able to like main the character, because I enjoy going off stage too much. Like, don't get me wrong, Chrom is still a good character, but it's such a big part of Smash that I enjoy that the character can't give me. Yeah, well, the thing for a character like Marv, unless enough setups for Tipper exist, it's not really any reason to play the character over Lucina. Like in Smash 4, it seemed to be like, alright, you can like really, like, it depends almost more on matchup, is what it looked like. But here, it seems like it's not enough setup to justify Marth. But that could change in the future. That's what it looks like at the moment, at least. I wouldn't buff or nerf anything about Joker, currently. I know that's a boring answer, but it's also like what I personally feel. I'm not a person that easily wanna like nerf or buff things unless I feel like it's actually really necessary. And in order for me to think that it's necessary, it needs to be like much more, like not data like necessarily in terms of like results, but like the character needs a lot of time to get like discovered, if that makes sense. Well, in this game, DI basically doesn't matter for a lot of combos. So, if you have a very hard time to understand how Punish game works, you should just look up some pro player playing your character and see how they punish. Like, for people that like Inkling, you can watch punishes I do. Like, many punishes in this game, I've done the exact same punish hundreds of times. Because it doesn't really matter, like, once you're stuck, you can't really do anything about it in many scenarios. So you can just, like, literally see, like, oh, he does up throw, upper, upper, reverse nair bear, or up throw, upper, 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 and then reverse nair bear, for example. Like, that specific sequence have happened, like, hundreds, if not thousands of times already.
I think I think Joker's pretty good, but it's still very early to say anything. So.
Our shield control, GameCube controls the shield are naturally rare. So back in the day before notches and UCF and stuff was a thing, like 2014 I came back to Melee and started playing, and I was like, I need to add shield dropping to my game. And I started noticing how controllers were different. Back then people told me that I was just like what is it called? Basically delusional about it all. But I was dead certain that controllers were differently. I actually like called it out, controllers being built differently already back in 2010 when I switched controller for the first time. I noticed that dashbacks were like differently based on controller. And I said the same thing for shield drops. And I noticed that the average Japanese white / Smash 4 controller tends to shield drop on one side, but not the other. And that side tends to be left in most cases. I don't remember the exact numbers. I did keep numbers for a while over the course of like hundreds of tested controllers. So even though the data is not like 100% conclusive, I would still say it's enough data to like give a rough estimation on how the data for the controllers looked like. So most, there was mainly JP Whites I did test, and they tend to work shield drop on the left side, but not the right side. Then some controllers do only the right side, but not the left side, and then it's really rare that it does on neither or both sides. Both sides, I would say, was maybe 1 in 20 controllers. So sometimes I bought 20 controllers in one chunk and kept the one controller that had both side shield drops, and then sold the rest. And when I did sell controller, I did tell them what the controllers could and couldn't do. But most people didn't shield drop at the time, so most people didn't care.